When was the last time you walked into a supermarket in Barbados and said, well, that wasn't too bad, you know? Seriously, tell me. Because many of us has actually walk away saying, Lord, please help me. The cost of living in Barbados is something else, you know. It is one of the heaviest burdens ever. It impacts on utilities, groceries, rent, all the things. And it all just keeps adding up, doesn't it? I'm Zana Monique and I'm the creator of Bajans and this is Lewi Calloway Beach Story. And today's episode is about, of course, the cost of living in Barbados. Now remember, the thoughts here are mine and I do a little research and I can try to cite where I can. So go and research for one yourself. Let me get to it. So let me talk about the past versus now. And I know that some of you don't like talking about the past, you know, but you gotta talk about it because it is our past. How you expect to build a better future, huh? Anyway, let me go. So you know that Barbados did always an expensive place, but it was more manageable back in the day. From my early childhood and before, things weren't like how they are now. But there's a reason why it has been that expensive. We do a lot of importation, or fuel, or food, or everyday items, things that we depend on all the time. A lot of them are imported. And with import, you get duties and all sorts of other monetary pins and needles that come to stick us in the butt, so to speak, every single day. Years ago, a paycheck, though it was small, used to last a bit longer. A shopping bag for a family did last longer than just a few days of nowadays. Even rent was kind of more manageable in a sense, but you can let me know of anyone that would talk about how things were back in the day, especially with rent and utilities, stuff like that. Because you tend to hear about food pretty often. But yeah, it would be nice to know. One thing I could tell you though is that my grandparents used to go on and on about how bread, for instance, will be a few cents, getting sugar, a few cents, chicken, $1, all that sort of thing. And that surely is not the case now. Even though the wages were not a lot, somehow they would stretch. And this will be for a family. But then again, we coming from the day as well of when people used to do more at home, like raising livestock, and people finding more time to do that. Nowadays, everybody working one, two, three jobs to try to make ends meet. So therefore, you have no time to even focus on doing a little farming for yourself or anything, or because you live in a place that is more congested, you can't even find the space to do that. So things have changed. The thing is, income growth has not kept up with cost, and unfortunately, this is something that is seen across the globe. Even here in the UK, people talk about that all the time. It just does not correlate and you cannot make ends meet. But I want to show you all something, right? You all ever take a look at the IMF page for Barbados online? Let me go to that now and take a little look at the inflation rate. So this is the International Monetary Fund page for Barbados. It is the IMF data mapper. And as you can see, it breaks off into all sorts of things, so you can peruse at your leisure and you can see the address up there, so take note. Right, so we are going to take a look at the inflation rate of Barbados. So Barbados at the moment is at 0.29 million people, which I thought had dropped, but apparently it hasn't. But yeah, let's take a look at that. Barbados is at 0.29 million people. And with those 0.29 million people, we have the inflation rate of 1.8. Now, it would be cool, right, to see how our inflation has gone across the years. So Our inflation was at 14 in 1980, then came all the way as low as minus 0.5 in roughly 1986, and then minus 2.5 in 2015. And at the moment, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, our inflation has not been that bad. But it is really interesting that in 1980, our inflation rate was at 14, and somehow things feel worse in this day of 1.8. As I said, please just look around. These things are at our disposal to look and research for ourselves. There are so many things here, like the unemployment rate, which has apparently decreased and is now at 7.8, and it is the second lowest in the last 35 years. This thing is even in the green spot here. St. Lucia has the same one. St. Vincent has 2. Dominica has 2. I feel as if it's just the English speaking Caribbean that we're looking at. Antigua is 3. Trinidad is 2.2. Grenada is 1.6. Puerto Rico, not English speaking, but that is 2. Dominican Republic is 4. Haiti is 29.7. So in the grand scheme of things, see, we have nothing for Curacao or Aruba or Bonaire. But in the grand scheme of things, Barbados is actually in a good state. But tell me, why is it that we are struggling so much then? We are now going to talk about a different set of numbers, and those are the numbers in the supermarket. And we're going to head over to a webpage called pricecheck.gov.bb. Have you ever heard of it? Well, it is a thing that is at your disposal as well, so that you can check up and compare on everyday grocery prices. Let me do this on a typical shop. And when I say that, I know, goodness, that's British, saying it like that. A typical grocery list. That's what I mean. Right, so I can try to do a thing. I share the screen again while I share a typical list. It's not everything, so don't come for me, right? But I just sharing a little list of things that people may buy in a supermarket. And I am trying to find the prices on Price Check. There is also another price website that you can go to. There's one called Numbeo. There's also one called Ex Pakistan. Go and check that one out as well. It compares all sorts of prices in Barbados. If you go to the right one, I will put all the links over here. Right? But I'm also going to put a calculator. I'm going to try to find the lowest prices on the shopping list. I'm going to look at all the prices, then we're going to look at the lowest prices and then put them in the calculator and see what a shop for this basket would come to. So let me expand this page. This here so is the Price Check website by the Ministry of Energy and Business Division. It's a Barbadian website, pricecheck.gov.bb. Save that so you can peruse at your own leisure. But these things are at all of our disposal. All right. It says here that you save money by knowing the best price before shopping. So in that case, we are going to start making some semblance of a list. So first, we are going to look at normal Pine Hill, a normal Pine Hill 1 liter carton of milk. And it says here that at Price Check at the moment, and you see the date here, it is $8.36, and this is all in Bajan money. So let us go over here and look for what's going on here. Ah, okay. Let us go over here and look for Pine Hill milk. Let's see if I can get this to. Ah, there we go. Pine Hill. Oh, lovely. The page has expired. Okay, 1 liter. That's fascinating. That is very fascinating. Oh, loss. Okay, let's try looking this way. Dairy milk. All right, cool. There we go. So we have it there. We have Pine Hill, 1 liter of milk, normal milk, 8.36. And the comparison, let's see if we can compare in the different places. Okay, I guess the highest price is actually not 8.36. The highest price is at Eddie's supermarket for 8.99. But the lowest price as of the 6th of August, we do not know if that still stands, so we just have to go with the dates, is 7.99. So let us put 7.99 here in the calculator. Now, somewhere around here as well, or possibly at the end, I am going to let you know the different supermarkets as well, because it will really be interesting going different places around Barbados, trying to figure out where to get stuff at the cheapest rate. So anyway, that is milk cross off. So let us now go look for Klim milk, Pueblo. And since we can't seem to find anything up here, because that ain't working unless you do this, let's try that. Klim. I remember Klim. Klim from when I was little. Klim. I can bet. Oh, okay, that worked. So, Klim milk. See what it says here. All right. That is the 360-gram Klim milk. And of course, Klim is like powdered milk. As far as I remember, that it was powdered milk. 12.23. But let us compare and see if we can find a cheaper option. Yes, we can. So what I am assuming is that this is the average. Forgive me, I didn't get a chance to figure out all of this, but you can do your research as well. Believe me when I say I am just opening up the door for you as a normal everyday person like myself to do your research as well. So 12.23 is possibly the average because Eddie's again is at the highest at 12.99, and that was back in July. But as of August the 6th, at popular discount, it is 11.49. So let us put in 11.49. Great. So now we're going to look for split peas. And it says here, we're going to look for Country Farm split peas. It says it's 179. Okay. So Country Farm is the least expensive out of all of these. So let us look at Country Farm. As of July the 23rd, Fair Deals had the split peas at $2.10, but Price Low has it at $1.49. So let us add that to our list. $1 and what it is that we saw now, 49 cents. And now we're going to look at split peas. I don't know why this list decided to come up with that, but anyway, so let us go backwards since we have already found that. And you have your Indian girl split peas, which is the average of $2.06 at Lionel C. Hill Supermarket. That cannot be the average. That does not make sense. Where is that? Anyway, if you want Indian girl split peas, 400 grams, as of the 6th of August, Lionel C. Hill Supermarket has it at $1.88, while at Price Low, it's $1.29. So let's add that to our list just in case we want two different types of split peas. So now let us get some limes, right? So we are going to look for the limes in price check. Gotta open up the page again. Limes. See if it searches it. Aha. So we are gonna go by each. Okay? So you see this list says that limes are from 69 to 130 each. So let us take a look and compare. However, if you want one lime at Fair Deal Supermarket, you would get it, well, that was as of the 23rd of July, 98 cents. And if you get it from Price Low, one lime as of the 23rd of July is 69 cents. So let us put the one lime that we will be buying. Okay. And now we're going to look for some apples. I realize though when you press enter, this thing does not search. Anyway, if you're getting one apple, no. Do we really want one apple? Yeah, let's be fair. Let's just get one apple. We're going to look at one apple. One apple is 70. Let's see if it's really 74 cents. So, at popular discount, as of the 23rd of July, is $1.59 for one apple, one gala apple. Why? Anyway, Cherish Supermarket has it as of the 6th of August, 67 cents. So we have not seen any updates here yet for September, but hey. So let us add the one apple that is for 67 cents. So then you have chicken fillets. So we're going to look for chicken fillets. All right, so let's see. All right, let's try chicken. Oh my, the search engine on this is not the greatest. Do we really want chicken fillets or we want whole chicken? Let me take out that chicken fillet off that list and let me do whole chickens. How about that? We're gonna do a whole chicken. Oh dear, whole chicken. Let me do this. So Montrose chicken, Lionel C. Hill Supermarket as of, and let's see, all of these prices are coming as of the 6th of August. So 16.73. And then Popular Discount Supermarket has a whole chicken at 13.75. So let us put 13.75. Oh, I see the chicken fillet is from Numbio. So okay, let's just do everything from price check at the moment. 13.75. Yeah. So as you can see, there are a variety of different places that you're going to get the lowest price. So that's going to be quite a bit of running around. Anyway, we're halfway through this list. Let's go to cheese. And you know we love our New Zealand cheddar cheese. Do your macaroni pie with that. But yeah, New Zealand cheddar cheese, you get a block of that, 1 kilogram. The most you will get that at as of the 6th of August is 22.71 at Lionel Sea Hill Supermarket. Oh my goodness, that is expensive. Trimart, you get it at 16.68. So let us put 16.68 for this New Zealand block of cheddar cheese. Not a lot. Not a lot of cheese, but still, yeah. 16.68. And let us now go to soybean oil, because you need to cook. Put some oil in the pan. Soybean oil. We have a number of them, so we are going to go with Roberts. 1 liter. 1 liter of oil is sold at Fair Deal Supermarket as of the 23rd of July for $9.95, while at Cherish as of the 6th of August, $6.79. So let us, sorry. So let us add that to our list. That is $6.79 for soybean oil. Now we're going to have some potatoes. Potatoes. Keep doing that. Stop pressing enter. This enter thing does not work on this website. Oh, wow. Potato then. It's madness. You serious? Oh, I can't find potatoes. That's interesting. Let's see. Ground provisions. Potatoes. Oh, whoever is running this site need to do something about this, because, oh, we can't find potatoes. There are no potatoes. How about we do some rice? Because we don't have any rice here on this, unless they have it under ground provision. Let's see. If I can't find potatoes, actually, there's no vegetables. Let's see if they, oh, they don't have anything there either. Okay. Right. So let's look for rice. Let's see if they have rice. Ah, they have rice. Okay. Let us go with Country Farm rice, 1750 kilograms. And as of the 6th of August, 9:45 at Eddie's Supermarket, and the People's Market, same, and the People's Market, you have it at 7:46. So let us put rice, 7:46. So we have bread, salt bread. I'm just going to put, actually, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to search here for it. Just for normal bread and see if it comes up. There we go. So just normal Zephyr's bread. We're going for the first one. Zephyr's salt bread. At Price Low, as of the 23rd of July, is $4.25, and Cherish has it as of the 6th of August at $3.99. So we are going to put it here, $3.99. Toilet paper. This is the last one on the list, but of course there's so many other things. Household items. Health. Let's see. Toilet paper. All right. So let's just do an economy pack. Economy toilet paper. I know that one as well, but economy toilet paper. Let's see. So economy toilet paper, 6 rolls. You would get them at Savings Plus supermarkets, which is ironic. As of the 6th of August, you get them for $6.88. And at Price Low, $5.99. So let us add our toilet paper. $5.99. All right, ready for your total? And everything comes up to $78.28 for these few things. Note, we had 1 lime and 1 apple, no potatoes, so we had to go with some rice. And as far as I remember, we had 2 packs of split peas, which we did not need. But yeah, 78.28, and this is not even the full list. Oh, and we had a whole chicken in there as well. But this is not even the full list of what you would need in a month or every 2 weeks or whatever. And of course, I am going to attach here all the different supermarkets that we use, the lists. I'm going to put the prices as well, put it all there. But please do go back to the websites, pricecheck.gov.bb. There is also Numbeo, and there's also Expakistan. That's so funny. Expakistan. Check on those websites, compare your prices, please. Listen, people out here making some real difficult choices. You hear me? Are you? Let me know in the comment section, because you may be sitting down wondering if you can buy groceries or if you can pay electricity. We need both. Or if you can, I don't know, you may think that internet isn't that important, but that between that and medication, you need the internet because nowadays you're going to connect with your family members overseas, or connection with things that are mainly on the net, like when it comes to work, etc., or paying something. So you forego that and then you get the medication instead, but then you still need to use the internet in order. But you see where I'm coming from? These are just little examples. But it is really hard in these streets. Families literally have to cut corners. Young people that are getting jobs and want to move away and things, sometimes they can't because they can't afford to. So therefore, as a family unit, they try to press on. But still, stress levels rising because so many people caught up in one house. Stress levels rising because people scrunting and scraping to get by. Stress levels rising because, etc., etc. And then you have your vulnerable people, people that have chronic illnesses, people that have a fixed income, and people who are seniors. Say the seniors have Alzheimer's. This is World Alzheimer's Month. And, you need diapers. That's an added cost. And many other things that can come into play regarding illnesses and tools that you need for illnesses or any other such situations. All of these on top of the things that we have already been talking about when it comes to renting or mortgage or paying for a car. Or then again, you may not be able to get a car because of how bad the situation is, or food, utility, one thing on top of the other. We have 1.8% inflation, and yet the squeeze is so bad. So now let's talk about government's influence on the state of our cost of living, and we are going to head to KPMG and look at the Barbados budget highlights for 2025. And as mentioned, all of this is available to you. Do your research. Always do your research. Be curious about what is yours. Remember, people in public service work for us and for our benefit. So it is our right to know what is going on so that we can better educate ourselves. All right. So this stuff is available to you. Just look for Barbados Budget Highlights 2025 KPMG and you will find this. So we are going to scroll down a bit because I want to show you a few little things. Cost of living and well-being measures. With effect from January 1st, 2026, an automatic 2% increase in the national minimum wage will be introduced. Also, removal of property transfer tax in the event of deeds of gift to children and dependents only for land under 1 acre. And then we look at the growth measures. With effect from April 1st, the removal of duties and VAT on commercial kitchen equipment for registered restaurants and cook shops until March the 31st, 2027. And let us scroll some more, because there's another thing that I would like to share with you. So there's these bits as well: legislative update of the tax credits. In the 2024 budget speech was proposed 13 new tax credits, which were intended to be effective in 2024, but legislation had not been yet introduced. And they are in this table, so you can take a look at that as well. But remember, you can research for yourself. You can take a look at this as well, very important, and this as well. So this is another important bit: income tax threshold. Increase the income tax threshold for pensioners from income year 2025 to $50,000. And then, of course, I told you about the minimum wage. We also have meal allowances and property transfer tax on deeds of gifts, which I mentioned earlier. But let us head to page 19, where we have the VAT and excise taxes. And in here we have food items. VAT will be removed on select food items effective April the 1st. So that would have been already done, obviously. And import duty and VAT will be removed on certain imported fruits. So again, peruse for yourself. Take note, very important to research. This is all available to you, the Barbadian citizen. According to Barbados Today, we can see a price ease highlight. So effective April the 1st of this year, VAT was removed from these additional food items: stew beef, mincemeat, pineapples, barley, pears, ortoniques, mandarins, grapefruits, and plums. I have been looking for the other zero-rated basket of goods. So not just the ones that came in 2025, but the ones that were VAT exempt from before. And I want to show you something. So I've come to the area where there are frequently asked questions to find out about the zero-rated basket of goods. And this is what happens. Nothing. So if I scroll that up there, nothing. If I copy this, let's see, copy link address, and let us go to another page. Comes right back to that. So this does not really answer the question. So let's go to a different page. So now this is the actual zero rated items page, which is strange. It's a roundabout way of getting to it. When I tap on this, there's nothing. Powers that be, please update these pages, because there are folks out here that would love to know the correct information so that they can plan their shop. They will know what to buy, what is covered and stuff. We really need to get this together. I would suggest to you, however, ever so often check BRA's zero rated items page and check to see if there are going to be any updates at any point in time. Probably try next month and the month after. Keep looking. The reality is, however, while policy can ease costs on paper, people don't always feel the relief in their daily shop anyway. Are the government officials listening to this truly? Are they really taking heed, paying heed to those of us out there who would love to see an active change, especially on healthy food items, so that we can feel better, so that we would not probably need the medicine as much. You know, things that would actually lift us up. And let us not forget that there are some stores that will adhere to all changes that are supposed to be applied. And then there are others who will still do their own markups anyway. We've seen that in Price Check. That gap in policy gives its own set of headaches. Am I right or what? Look, here is a classic example of some of the frustrations that people are going through because of the cost of living in Barbados right now. Recently, I had put out a question on the Bajans on the net platform on YouTube. And this is the question here. So, hello, lovelies. How is your weekend? I am curious about what you think about the cost of living in Barbados. I am compiling info for another Let We Call It We Base story video. And I would love to hear from you too. Let me know your thoughts. And below, we got 3 responses. Sophie Love has said, I moved here 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago from New York, and the prices are shocking. Everything is double or triple the cost. How is the average Barbadian surviving? That is the point. That's the point. I hope that otherwise you are enjoying beautiful Barbados, the people, the sea, sun, and the sand. Everything culturally that Barbados has to offer. But it's true, cost of living has always been a big issue in Barbados. And then we have the uncultured Igbo. Cost of living, we're at cost of unaliving at this point. Yeah, it really does feel so. I actually can understand this. And from Marlin My Way, I was there in 2025. Single person, I spent £76. No alcohol, no meat, food for breakfast, snacks, ice cream, some cleaning products, and came up with a bag and a half. £76. Now, if you convert £76 into Bajan money, I can tell what that is in a sec. Bringing out the calculator again. £76 in Bajan money. Let me see if I got Barbados in here. Yeah. It's $204.80. Let me carry on. I used to live there, worked full time. I just couldn't get ahead. I felt trapped. Love Barbados, but the reality is you need a very high salary and a 2-person household. And then she break down into this, which may seem funny to some folks, but it's true. 30 years ago, a lot of women had a man to pay the rent, one to pay the bills. Now you need 3, another one to buy food. And this sounds like a joke, but back in the day, that was how it was. A lot of those insurance executives and MPs had apartments renting out for their other ladies. I didn't want to go down that road, so I left. Oh dear, it's laughable and yet sad. A lot of people in Barbados are having a hard time. The wages are way below cost of living. And unfortunately, that is a thing across the world. But yeah, little Barbados, we need to really do better than that, because with our small population, and I just recently listened to something from the PM. She was at a New York town hall meeting where a lot of Bajans were asking questions and things like that. And I'm glad that I got to watch quite a bit of it. She was talking about things like this and all that. So it'd be interesting to see what comes of that. Maybe I will do a video, maybe the next video, I don't know, about what she broke down in that town hall, because it was actually quite interesting. Let me tell you right now, I am not partisan in by any shape or form of the imagination. I am just about we Bajans trying to live in Barbados, and we people who had to move away to try to survive and all that, to actually be able to go back home and live and contribute like we want to, right? I'm all about that. So yeah, maybe I'll break that down. But hey, let me know in the comment section if you want that. The issue is that Barbados can't escape imports. However, I think that we need to focus more on supporting local agriculture, from backyard gardens to larger farms. We need to go back to that. There was more of that when I was a child. We need to push for wages to actually be closer to the cost of living. We do not have to follow how the world is. We can do better. We are a small island state. We somehow should be able to try to get this under wraps. And I heard the PM talking about a variety of different things like this, as I mentioned before. But we need to have the increases in such a way that they're not just symbolic to say, oh yeah, we do a price increase or a wage increase. They need to actually be substantial so that our people can actually survive, and that people like me who are Bajan and want to live at home could come back home. Don't forget, I say it again, use price check and the other things that I did talk about, because that actually helps you to shop smarter. It helps you to know what's going on out there in the markets, in the supermarkets. You can be more informed, and you have your options regarding where to shop. And also you can check what's going on as time progresses and then call out unfair practices. You remember I tell you that people is notch up some prices, and some of them is actually keep to what it's supposed to be. You could call that out yourself. We should be pushing for more subsidies and support for the vulnerable, people who have disabilities, those who have very low incomes, the elderly, the carers. That's what we need to be pushing for, yeah? We as communities, I think, should try to shop as a collective. Have a bit of a co-op. You get a neighborhood, you get 3 or 4 families come together and shop and split the goods. Then getting things wholesale should hopefully, it should be less expensive. If you don't want to come together as neighbors, come together as family members, and then split that money. Do the same, split the money, split the goods every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, and try to see if you can bring down the cost that way. When I was a teenager, my mother did come back to Barbados. She actually used to do that with her co-workers. So there's another group of people you could do that with. I think we need to put more emphasis on food festivals and not just on AgriFest. We can create more food festivals. We can have them in communities, have them in parishes, have them ongoing throughout the year, so that every month at least there is something going on somewhere, so that people across the island can actually go and we can support our local people, support the farmers. Then that should encourage more backyard garden. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know if you have any ideas, and of course when I'm making my videos I will call them out here and let we call out we Beige story. Please remember, right, that cost of living is not just financial. It is about society, health, and national security issues as well. Because if you can't afford financially, what happens is then your dignity drops. You know this, because you can't afford this, you feel bad. Dignity falls, frustration then grows, which leads to what? Crime, migration, illnesses. Do we want this to continue? No, we don't. So we as people need to inform ourselves about what really is going on. And yes, we complain. We are a nation of complainers, yes. But we need to follow that up with action. So a good action will be to look at the things that are going on, see what's going on, really truly inform yourself so you can come up with good solid questions as to the why and what we can actually do, and then come up with your own solutions as well and put those forward as well. I would love to see a Barbados where we can finally rise from our past. And this is the reason why you gotta keep talking about them, because we have been so affected by what has gone before. It is not that long ago, and we need to be in a better place. Yes, people may want to come here and do business and live and have, you know, whatever. That's all well and good. But we Bajans, especially since the PM has said that everyone who is of Barbadian descent up until the 4th generation can now get this citizenship, the great-grandchild could have citizenship. So especially since we're doing that, people want to come back and be able to actually survive. People want to come back and actually be able to contribute properly and feel as if their money actually getting somewhere. We who have the Bajan blood in we bones, I would like to see better for Barbados. And it's conversations like these from a typical layperson, who in a political person, who in a medical person, who in a sort. I'm just a person who loved Barbados and got Bajan in my blood. It's conversations from people like me and you that can help bring the matters to hand so that some way, some form, powers that be can actually be aware of what's going on, and we can actually push for more things to happen. Let me know your thoughts. I can talk to one in the next episode. Check this one out meanwhile.